It's the Joe Padula Show, Clarksville's conversation.
Absolutely. Why? Why did the 30-year-old South Carolina man kill his 18-year-old roommate and attempted to blame it on his 19-year-old pregnant wife? Well, Melissa Marquez of Crime 411, she's got more now on the Joe Padula Show. Absolutely. Make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, click like. Definitely help us out and share this video now. All right, Melissa Marquez.
Hey, Joe.
How you doing?
I am good. How are you?
Yeah, not bad.
Happy
not
Friday.
Bad. Yeah, Friday. We bring you in on Fridays for Crime 411.
That's right.
Well, you ditched last week.
You had a gig, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
You ditched.
I know.
Blaming me.
And I didn't tell Coach Chestnut either.
Nope.
No, did you
and
show
he
up?
showed up.
Drove all the way across. That was 2 weeks in a row.
Oh, my bad.
That's not cool, Joe.
No, I told you in advance last week, right? Yeah,
but
the week prior I screwed up.
yeah.
That's funny. And he drove here.
Yeah.
And Wes Foster was
Yeah.
like, I think Coach is here.
No.
Damn it. I go, damn it.
Poor Coach.
Yeah, I had a gig. But all right, this story right here. Let me get the people up on the board.
Yeah, this one's weird.
Yeah, this one. There's the individuals we're talking about here.
Classy folks that they are.
All right, so let me just. So what we're looking at is the guy got convicted, the murderer, right?
Yep.
South Carolina. Everyone knows where that is, right?
It's right below North Carolina,
South
right?
Kakalaki.
Right below it, Lawyer Wayne.
Yeah. I know.
Like immediately.
Geography.
Well, the man was convicted of killing his teenage roommate and disposing of the body. He's been sentenced to 60 years in prison.
Yes.
Now, I got a couple questions about that also.
Me too.
So the guy, Christopher Allen Holford, okay, he's now 33 years old, and he pleaded a guilty plea last week.
Yeah, November 13th. Well, he was sentenced on the 13th.
Okay.
Yeah.
And to the murder and possession of a weapon during a violent crime. So back in February of 2018, this kid, Austin Tyler Steele, 18 years old, he's in the middle if you're looking at the on the video feed. So he died at the age of 18. Okay, so the then 30-year-old back in the day, Holford and Steele, they lived in this mobile home near Lancaster.
Yes, it was Austin's mobile home. He had lived there. I don't know why he was there by himself because he was autistic. I don't know how he was, maintaining every day. But he allowed Holford and Duncan to move in with him.
Okay. Now, from what I understand, this mobile home was on the property of a big house, okay, in the back of the big house. And it was, it's a mess.
My dear God, wasn't it though? Did you see the
A
photos?
mess, yeah. Check out the video on Crime 401. The link is in this feed here. But the two were living there together along with Holford's 19-year-old wife, Brandy Nicole Faye Duncan.
Yes.
All right. And it doesn't look like a big place whatsoever.
No, it's tiny.
All right.
And hoarded. I mean,
So Holford, this guy's a Missouri felon, okay, with weapons and receiving stolen property convictions, along with drug violations dating back to 2005.
And a sex offender.
Yeah, in 2011, he was convicted of molesting a female minor while in Missouri. He was sentenced to 5 years in prison in 2011, also for drugs. He then moved to Florida, where he had to he registered as a sex offender for the child molestation conviction. And then in 2017, that's when he moved to Lancaster, South Carolina. So the girl that we mentioned, Brandy Nicole Faye Duncan, she was convicted in 2017 in Lancaster, South Carolina, for assault and battery. I don't know what it was. She did 30 days in jail. I found her on Facebook, too.
Of course you did.
And then. Now, in February 2018 now. So Holford and Brandy Duncan there, they got married in February.
A few days before this murder.
Right. And so the married couple's living with Tyler Steele.
Not just living with. So Brandy was having a sexual relationship with each of them. And then there was a separate sexual relationship between Austin and Holford.
No.
Yes.
How can you confirm that?
Because it was in the paperwork that I read about the sentencing.
So, nonetheless, so that they were doing things.
They were doing things, lots of things. God only knows who she was pregnant by.
It was
Oh.
You see where I'm going?
Oh.
Yeah.
She could have two babies at the same time, right?
So
And she had twins.
now in February of 2018,
Double up.
Steele had been seen for about 3 or 4 weeks, but had not been officially reported missing. Now Tyler Steele's aunt, she was quoted that they had not heard from him in like 3 to 4 weeks. They feared the worst because he was hanging out with a rough crowd. I'm guessing she was assuming that Holford and Duncan was a rough crowd. The aunt said, I tried to tell him you don't need to be around them. He got all in his head. I'm grown up. You can't keep me here. So he moved out on his own. So now in March of 2018, a tip to police came in from an acquaintance of the victim, and the suspect, the officers arrived to the property over there at 1838 High Point Circle in Lancaster. And the location was that single-story home that we were talking about. A mobile home was behind it. And they searched the property and found Steele's remains. Like a human torso.
Yeah, which was stabbed and burned.
Without the limbs. And they found that buried on the property. A human skull was found outside.
They buried the body. They buried the torso under a dead dog.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Bones were found in a burn barrel. More bones were found in a box under the mobile home on the property, and under various items under the property as well, which was, they said a bunch of it was in garbage bags. They found rats were crawling all over the porch and around the sides of the house. Also found an axe, broken sword, and knives were found in the mobile home.
Wow.
Now, some details about the murder itself and the dismembering will blow your mind.
Okay.
Blow it.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought.
Okay.
Because I want to get to the murder part when we get to the trial part.
Okay.
So yeah. But remember how he said there was a tip that came in and the cops went out to go investigate? Get this, and tell me if I'm right or wrong on this, Melissa Marquet of Crime 401. Right before that tip came in, Brandy, who's pregnant, was in the hospital and a nurse at the Spring Memorial's Hospital called police when she saw Holford hitting his pregnant wife and tried to push her out of the hospital bed. The wife allegedly was in the hospital because he beat the crap out of her.
Which, of course, affected her pregnancy.
And his wife, Brandy Nicole Faye Duncan there, she told the nurse that she was, quote, scared of Holford and that he committed acts of violence towards her. And he's a killer. He's a killer. She kept saying several times to the nurse. She then said that Holford was holding onto her license, social security card, birth certificate, a cell phone, and she asked about a restraining order. Why? Why would he hold on to stuff like that? Is
Control.
Is that a control thing?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Of course it is.
Right. She can't go nowhere. She can't call no one. Okay. Now, police found that Holford had in his bag at the hospital several cell phones, 4 knives. He told the cops, though, that his knives, this is according to the report, that he and Brandy used those knives to eat with.
Interesting.
Sure.
All
They
right.
eat a lot of steak. They like to bring their own knives.
Yeah.
A lot of fancy cheese.
So he was arrested for domestic violence at the hospital in March, that Thursday in March in 2018. He was later charged with the murder and the killing of 18-year-old Austin Steele, who would have turned 19 on that Friday. Holford was also charged with illegal possession of prescription drugs. Do you know what his first charge was, though? According to the report? Failure to register as a sex offender.
Mm-hmm.
So
when Duncan got...
she was also charged.
She was.
She was charged with
Helping to
cover up the crime.
cover up the crime, yeah. But she, when she got out of the hospital, went to her grandmother's house and told her grandmother that Holford had murdered Austin. That was the tip.
Oh, so the grandma did the call.
So the grandmother, yeah.
So, okay, so the tip that came in from the cops. Okay, so she's going to the hospital because she got
Total violation of grandparent-grandchild privilege.
Oh, is that?
Is that a thing?
Apparently not.
Apparently not.
So grandma was the tip.
She was the tip.
Just the tip.
Now, how about the fact that the day that they murdered Austin, a few hours before they murdered him, Chris Holford called his brother, Jeff Holford, and told him in detail what he was planning to do and that he was going to kill Austin. You would think that the brother would have called the police, but no, he didn't, right? So they murder him, and a few hours later, they video chat. Chris and Duncan video chat with Chris's brother to show him Austin's body. Still doesn't call it into police.
So brother privilege still works.
So the brother didn't say anything.
Nope.
Did he tell the brother why he was going to do this?
No motive was given.
Right.
And then the next day, and so Brandy Duncan, they shot him in the throat. Right. She stuck a drinking straw in his throat to try and stop the bleeding and tried to convince Holford to throw his body somewhere and call 911 so that he could get help, so that he wouldn't die. But this is what she says anyhow. But he wouldn't do that. He bled out. And then the next morning.
Yeah, he survived the night.
He survived the night like that somehow, probably because she stuck a straw in his throat. I don't know. And the next day.
Straw.
He just said, he's like, I'm going to dismember his body. But now this is crazy. He said, I've never dismembered a body sober before. How many bodies have you dismembered? Right?
That's crazy.
He's like, I need you to give me money so I can go get alcohol because I've never done this sober. So she gives him money to go get drunk so that he can dismember this body.
Do you know what they do for a living?
Probably nothing. I have no idea.
Okay. Just asking.
Yeah, no, I didn't say.
Right.
But so she gives him money to go get drunk so that he can dismember the body.
Okay.
She cleans out the area where they're going to burn the torso.
Oh, she's an accomplice.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
She was in the video laughing on the video chat.
I'm canceling my friend request.
Yeah, you don't want none of that. I mean, yeah, you don't want that. But
Joe a dater.
now think about that. If this guy's brother had called police, there's a good chance that kid would still be here.
Yeah. I would say a higher chance than almost a guarantee. Right?
So how is he not in jail?
And check this out too. Now, back to Holford there, who's now in prison. Okay, made statements to police from letters sent from jail. Initially denied involvement.
Yeah, he blamed his wife.
And blamed his wife for the slaying, but later admitted to killing the kid and cover up the crime. He allegedly signed one of these letters. Did you see this?
Hatchet, right? Or
Hatchet
something?
Man.
Hatchet Man, yeah.
What?
So I'm
He
thinking
signed it Hatchet Man?
He signed it Hatchet Man. Now, when you think about him signing it like that, and the fact that he said, "I've never dismembered a body sober before," is he like some kind of wannabe serial killer? That's what the first thought that I had was. Like, okay, this is his serial killer name now, Hatchet Man. How many people has he dismembered before? I'm wondering, if they've looked into other missing people in that area to see if maybe he was involved.
His lawyer, his court-appointed lawyer.
Wasn't Lawyer Wayne.
No, it was not Lawyer Wayne.
It's not.
It's not
Lawyer,
Wayne.
Lawyer Wayne, would you take this case?
If I was appointed. Appointed means that the lawyer, the judge, he could not afford to get his own lawyer.
Okay.
The judge picks a lawyer and says, you got to do it.
So
Okay.
if you had to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you get paid on those?
Yes.
How does that work?
Each state sets their own rate. I think federal cases, it's over $200 an hour.
Oh.
Yeah. You can make a pretty good living just doing it.
And the
20 cases.
taxpayers pay.
So in Clarksville, you're making about $75 an hour.
And no, it's 50.
Oh. That ain't bad.
It's pretty good.
I'll take 50 an
Like
hour.
that.
$50 not new.
Not for typical lawyer work though.
Right.
It's low for lawyers. It's good for anybody else. I ain't complaining.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the lawyer said that that he sustained trauma in his past, and that he has since shown remorse for Steele's killing.
No, he's just sorry he got caught,
Yeah, that's it.
right? But I really want to know, like you said, signing at the hatchet, right? And then the fact that she was pregnant. If she was sleeping with both of them, was there some sort of like they didn't know who she was pregnant by? Because they got married a few days right before they killed him, right? They get married, now they're husband and wife, and he's gone, he's dead. So maybe she was pregnant by the other guy and they wanted to get rid of him. Who knows? Lots of questions.
It's tough when you want to have fun. But this guy at the time is friggin' what? 11 years older. You know what I mean? He's at the time 30 years old. She's 19. He's 18.
Wouldn't he have been 17? We're going into 2021. If he would have been 19.
When he died, he was 18 when he was killed. Right. Steele
It was
was
almost his 19th birthday.
Right. He was almost 19.
Almost
right.
19,
Almost 19.
okay.
Right. Almost 19. Yeah. I don't know. It sounds like I don't know. It's crazy, man.
Maybe she liked Steele better. He was closer to her age. Maybe they have more in common.
Could have been.
He forced. I know that she said that she was threatened that if she didn't marry him, that he would kill her.
Bae, what do you make of it?
Crazy.
That's back crazy.
Why no motive? Why wouldn't he reveal the motive? Lawyer Wayne, have you ever seen cases where people are found guilty and they refuse to release motive?
Motive is something that you used to have for a murder case. I'm not aware of motives these days.
I want to know the reason.
I do too.
I mean,
really want to know.
I know one, he's a sick individual, because of his past, his convictions and everything.
I may write to him in jail and try to find out the reason. I'm curious.
Right.
People do that all the
Right
time.
to-
I mean, as Crime 411,
You gonna have some new friends.
bringing it to a different level. And I wouldn't say friends, and I'm definitely getting a
that's
P.O.
what-
box if I do that,
Can you
right?
sign it, Hatchet Babe?
Hatchet babe. Oh my God. Hatchet girl.
Yeah, Hatchet
Spray some
Girl.
of your-
Yes.
Spray some of your
That's
perfume.
funny.
That makes
on your
us have
letter.
like a commonality. He might feel more comfortable sharing the
Oh my
notice
God.
with like
Yeah.
Hatchet girl,
He'll
right?
Oh, Sam,
It
he'll
might make
do it.
him let him feel too comfortable.
Let me
That's
tell
the
you.
need for a P.O. box. And I have you.
Here's what you do. You set up a conjugal visit. Okay?
A fake one.
No, a real one.
With you?
No, with him.
For him?
Okay? Yeah.
Joe Padula wants to come to see you in
Coach.
jail.
Coach almost spit all over the microphone. I'm telling you, that's how you really earn his trust.
That would be a way to
Set
earn
up
some
a-
trust.
Typically, you'd have to marry him first.
He's already married.
Oh, that's
Needs a
right.
divorce lawyer.
You can handle the annulment.
Do we know if the kid was
LawyerWayne.com.
born?
I don't even know if she survived the beating, the baby. They never said anything about the baby.
Listen, true story.
Yeah.
I had to go interview a white supremacist in prison once, and he's like, "I don't talk to black people." Well, I don't talk to black men, but I'll talk to black women. I said, "That's not right."
Yeah.
It's like you can't talk to our women and not talk to me.
That's sexist.
So did you put on a
sir.
wig?
He
Yeah,
said-
so he's
He
anti-sexist.
said, "Okay, you're right."
Yeah.
I was like, "He's not a real racist." I was like,
That's terrible.
He was trying to play the unraised card.
he had
Right.
the tat and everything. But
Yeah.
me and him, we had a great conversation. True story.
What was he in for?
He was in for robbery, but I was investigating for sexually abusing his girlfriend's daughter.
Did he?
Yeah.
That's nasty.
That's another one. I don't get it.
He what happened was, you know how you go trade your phone in? Mm-hmm. He didn't delete all the videos on his phone.
Oh my gosh. How old was the girl?
Wait,
I think she was like 11.
why did he
Oh
have
my
videos
God.
on his phone?
Because he was recording it.
He was videoing the abuse, and she was 11?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Oh, God.
They'll take
Why
care
would
of
you
him in
video
jail.
it?
That's-
I mean, why would you do it
Well,
first?
you have to realize most of the people who commit these crimes, they always video because they go back and watch it. That's like their work. As crazy as that may sound.
Wow.
They normally they're connoisseurs of child pornography anyway. They may have tons and tons of data of that type of activity.
Dang.
That's the norm. They trade it.
Really?
Yes. No lie. They trade it.
Traded what?
They trade child pornography. Sex offenders, yeah.
Intern Shane? You
Yes,
hear
sir.
stories like this. You got any questions? What comes to mind?
Honestly, I don't really have any questions when it comes to this sort of thing. I'm just looking through the
Yeah,
comments
no, I
and,
hear you,
and
yeah.
such. But honestly, when I hear stuff like this, it just shocks me because, how could you do something like that?
Right. Yeah. It's like, how in the world does your mind think to do that, but let alone to actually be able to follow through on it when it's such a horrific thing? It's like, how in the world can you be capable of it? Right. It's just like, you're, as a rational human being, you'll never be able to wrap your head around it.
It's the Joe Padula Show. Bada bing. Clarksville's conversation.